Was headed to Las Vegas. Brock Purdy led the 49ers back from a 17-point deficit, tied for the most in NFC Championship game history. Brock goes for 267 through the air, added almost 50 on the ground to seal the game. Here's Fred Warner and Trent Williams on their quarterback.
What can you say about Brock Purdy and his performance tonight?
Heck of a game manager. Wow. Managed the heck out of that game, boy. He the reason we're going to have a chance to win us a ring. I love him.
What about Brock Purdy in this game and his resilience?
He did this all year. He the main reason we right here today. He the reason we're going to the Super Bowl. He the reason we here. He did it all year.
Brou, do you feel totally vindicated? It's been a rough A block.
I feel relieved. And that's what I felt yesterday. Because at halftime, I was like, oh my, tomorrow's really going to, I'm not even going to get any relief. But look, here's what I'll say. Why not believe in him now? And I'm not saying he's Mahomes. He's not in Mahomes' class. But let's be honest, who is? And I'm not saying he's Josh Allen or Lamar, but they're not in Mahomes' class either. They have bad playoff games here and there, too. Yeah. Purdy really hasn't. I mean, he played poorly last game against Green Bay, but came back with the game-winning drive. This guy has done all you could ask for of him. He's 4-0 in playoff games that he finishes. He broke Joe Montana and Steve, you know, the franchise that they're in, the record for passing yards. He played well against some of the top teams in the league, struggled against some, but played great against others, Dallas, Philly, Jacksonville, so on and so forth. And then yesterday in the second half, I mean, Nick, I'm interested in hearing what you say. Because here's what he did in the second half. It's never been done by any quarterback in the last 30 years in any type of game, playoff or regular season. Throw for 150, rush for 45 plus, complete 80% of your passes, average 10 yards a carry, and no turnovers.
And doesn't even include his best play, bouncing a pass off a dude's helmet for 50 yards.
Well, but hey, a little luck. Every team needs a little bit of luck. And great play by Ayuk, by the way. Yeah. But Purdy made, look at these plays. These are not game manager plays that Purdy made. So look at that.
Awesome play.
Yes, that looked like Lamar Jackson. Play. And then that throw. Great catch, too, by Juszczyk. And here you go. Look at this. This is a scrambling. His scrambling, he doesn't know how to slide yet, clearly. But his scrambling was great. And watch this thing. This is Mahomesian.
No,
that's a Mahomes-type play. I mean, seriously. I'm not saying he's Mahomes, but that was, you scramble a little, and that was a great play. So those are three great plays. So all I'm saying is why not believe
I don't know. I don't know if that last one I don't consider a great play.
Really?
I don't. No. But I want to give him credit for first. So I don't want to part. Okay? Because I really like the scrambling. And that is an element of his game that I did not think he had at this. And people be like, oh, you weren't watching. This was the best scrambling game he's ever had. And so I like that. People have been asked, what is it going to take? I thought yesterday was so much more important and impressive than the perfect passer rating against Tampa. That perfect passer rating game didn't move me really at all. Because I've seen quarterbacks that I know are bad do something like that under those circumstances. Now, that game, do I think he played well start to finish? Absolutely not. Do I think that he was one of the major reasons they were down as big as they were? I do. And that pick early was bad. And it was that the overthrow was so bad that it became good on the pass off the guy's helmet, off Vidor's helmet. With all that said, that to me was a massive step in the right direction. Does it change the fact that I think he's their weakest link? It doesn't. But am I going to act like that was not a lot of what I wanted to see, where he plays poorly or they just are in a rough spot? And he didn't seem to lose confidence. I think that getting away with that pass that ended up Ayuk caught for 50 yards, from that moment forward, there weren't mistakes. There were a bunch before. There weren't mistakes. And, Coach, I think the scrambling element for a team that, while I'm not as down on the offensive line as I think Brou is, that is one of their weaker spots. That's an important element. And so I will give him credit as much as I can, given the fact of what he did over the
in a good
entirety of
mood
the
today.
game.
I thought it was the last 2 weeks are the things that I've been looking for. So I wanted to see whether or not he could bring the team back, and we saw that he hadn't been able to up to that point. So he does it against Green Bay, and then he does it massively here against Detroit. And you couple that with Shanahan's record being down by 7, which was 4-42 going into the Green Bay game. So they've done something that they've had real problems with, and I give them a ton of credit for that. And there were a significant amount of really impressive plays. The reason I didn't love that last play you showed is because he got away with it. But typically when you make throws like that where you're throwing across your body into traffic, that's going to hurt you more than it helps you. But he was poised, he was confident, and as poorly as he played in the second half, he made a ton of plays to bring him back.
In the first half.
In the first half, he made so many positive plays under absolute pressure, and he showed a lot of poise. So
and it was the greatest
got to
comeback
give him credit for
in
that.
NFC title game history.
The answer is yes. Were you vindicated? The answer is without a doubt yes.
Well,
I don't even want to do this.
He's been fighting some opponents now. Now he's got to fight the champ, so it's a little different.
There we go,
different.
Coach.
No, look,
There we go, Coach.
I'm going to be grinding all 22 these next 2 weeks before I make my pick.
Yeah.
Coach Brou, I'm just letting you know right now.
It sounds like Coach.
Chiefs Kingdom is at capacity. So,
I know Chiefs
we have
Kingdom
one
don't
spot left open. Wild's
one
got
Even
it,
though I'm a
and the plane is taken off.
Claim the Midwest.
I am a Midwesterner. Y'all think about that, Chiefs Kingdom.
Dan Campbell and the Lions aggressive all year. It's one of the reasons why they were in the NFC Championship. But was he too aggressive this game? Up 24-10 before half. Long field goal? Nah. With a chance to tie it later on. Went for it again on 4th and 3. Neither worked. Here's Campbell afterwards.
It's easy hindsight, and I get it, you know. I get that. But I don't regret those decisions, and that's hard. You know, it's hard because, you know, we didn't come through. It wasn't able to work out, but I don't. And I understand the scrutiny I'll get. That's part of the gig, man.
Pretty good. Did Dan Campbell's aggressiveness lose this game?
No, he did make one grievous error, and it was not the 4th down calls. So listen, the one 4th down call that I disagreed with the most was when they were up 14. I would have kicked there personally because I think there is a massive psychological impact on San Francisco if you're down 3 scores. High scoring game, I feel like 2 scores, you always feel alive. Low scoring game, I feel like 1 score, you always feel alive. So like in the Chiefs game, I felt like being up 10 was huge. In that game, being up 17 would have felt huge. I know they have a shaky kicker. That one I would have gone for, but that's a judgment call. He can make it. We don't know if he would have made it. The thing that was indefensible, Coach, was running the ball down 10 right here when you have 3 timeouts and burning one. In the modern NFL, I shouldn't say modern, in the new onside kick NFL, if you get in an onside kick game, you lose.
Right.
You are better off being down 7 with all 3 of your timeouts and a minute left than you are what they did. That lost them the game. The game is over. The moment you run that play and then call timeout, the game's over. I don't care what you do. That is not a judgment call. That is not, I'm going with my team, what got us here.
Take.
So that, to me, if they had just kicked the field goal on 1st down, they're fine. You kick off, you get a stop, you have a chance. So that, to me, was the massive mistake. The 4th downs are more controversial, but I at least understand the logic behind it. There was no logic behind running it, burning a timeout, now you're in an onside kick game and game's over.
It's a good take.
Yeah, the onside kicks where it's everybody knows you have to onside kick. The percentage of getting that is so small, and to not have the 3 timeouts, you're just conceding the game at that point.
Conceding the game.
So I agree with you. In terms of the 4th down, I also agree that being up 17 at that point, so it would have been 17 with essentially 22 minutes left in the game. They scored, you scored, and now you've exchanged blows. So it's not a big momentum killer, but then to get stopped on 4th down after they had the field goal, that's where you start, especially for an immature team, that you start feeling like, oh no, here we go. I don't know if we can win this. But in fairness to Dan, it is all in retrospect. And let's bring up Dan's success here. So here's what he's done in plus territory. He's had 20 attempts throughout the course of the regular season and postseason, and he's converted on 17 of them. So he's got an 85% conversion rate, and that's what he was going with, and that's what he said he's going to go with, and he stuck to it, and they've been very successful. So it didn't work, and we're a little bit prisoner of the moment because it didn't work. So now we're thinking, okay, he should have done the other thing.
Right.
But he's been great at it all year long.
I don't think his calls, and I agree with you guys on those calls. I think he should have tried to go up 3 scores and obviously not run the ball there at the goal line. But I don't think it cost his mistakes cost them the game. I think San Francisco's the better team, and they got out slowly, and then they were rolling by that time. So I think they would have won anyway. But I disagree with you here, Nick. The 4th and 3, and I get it. They, like you said, you showed that graphic, Coach. 7.5 minutes left. I feel like you should go for the tie. Tie the game up, and now we got a fresh game. There's a lot of time left, 7.5 minutes, so we got a fresh game. I think it gives you the momentum, and so I think he should have kicked that field goal. They would have got the ball back. Now, I know San Francisco was rolling, and they scored right away anyway, but I think that
I might agree with you if I trusted that kicker more.
There we go.
He wasn't the kicker all year. He had missed some extra points recently. Like, people are forgetting that Badgley is, about 70% to make that to begin with. So I think that's where I feel a little different. You got Harrison Butker kicking